Everyone is welcome to watch this program. If you like us, please click to subscribe directly. Queen remains in good health after Prince Charles tested positive for coronavirus. Palace releases new pictures of monarch 93. On the phone to the PM, it moved to calm fears for her and Prince Philip. Buckingham Palace last night insisted the Queen was in good health after Prince Charles was diagnosed with coronavirus. It is understood the Prince of Wales met his 93-year-old mother at Buckingham Palace on March 12, less than 2 weeks ago. The virus has an estimated incubation period of 1 to 14 days. Charles' doctor is convinced that he would have been contagious from March 13 at the very earliest, based on when the Prince, 71, first started to develop symptoms at the weekend. The Duchess of Cornwall has tested negative, but is now isolated from her husband at Birkhall, their Scottish retreat where both are staying. Buckingham Palace, while refusing to comment on whether the Queen had been tested for coronavirus, took pains to stress last night that she was well. As if to emphasize the point, the palace unusually released a picture of the Queen undertaking her weekly audience with the Prime Minister by telephone yesterday evening from Windsor Castle, where she is in isolation with Prince Philip, 98. It showed her wearing a blue blouse and cardigan, surrounded by China corgis and racing tropics, and speaking on a 1970s-style white telephone. A palace spokesman said, "Her Majesty, the Queen remains in good health." The Queen last saw the Prince of Wales briefly on the morning of March 12, and is following all the appropriate advice with regard to her farewell. Charles began to feel ill over the weekend at his Highgrove estate in Gloucestershire before flying to Scotland on Sunday. He was tested via the NHS on Monday, and the results came back positive late on Tuesday's evening. Clarence House insists that neither Charles nor Camilla were given special treatment. Sources say his symptoms are mild and he was not even taken to his bed. He has spent the past few days working and is expected to make a full recovery. A short statement from Clarence House said, "The Prince of Wales has tested positive for coronavirus. He has been displaying mild symptoms but otherwise remains in good health and has been working from home throughout the last few days as usual." In accordance with government and medical advice, the Prince and the Duchess are now self-isolating at home in Scotland. The tests were carried out by the NHS in Aberdeenshire, where they met the criteria required for testing. It added, "It is not possible to ascertain from whom the Prince caught the virus owing to the high number of engagements he carried out in his public role during recent weeks." Charles has had a packed public schedule, including the Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey on March 9, where he was with Boris Johnson and his pregnant partner, Carrie Seymour, and senior royals including the Queen. He also met boxer Anthony Joshua, but the heavyweight champion said last night he is fit and well and obeying official advice to stay at home. The following day, Charles attended a conference with Prince Albert of Monaco, who subsequently revealed he had tested positive for COVID-19. That week, he met celebrities including Ant and Dec and Ronnie Wood at a Prince Charles event, held an investiture at Buckingham Palace, and attended a charity dinner with Lord Archer and his wife Dame Mary. On March 13, the prince went to Highgrove. On Sunday, he and Camilla flew to Scotland to stay at Birkhall. By that time, he was starting to feel ill, say sources, but his symptoms were not bad enough for him to change his plans. It is understood he was called the Queen and his sons, William and Harry, to inform them of his illness. Doctors believe it is extremely unlikely that the symptom he was will develop into anything more serious, and he is said to be in very good spirits. Anyone who came into contact with the prince since March 13 has been informed, but it is not believed they have been offered tests. Charles is said to be happy and calm despite his diagnosis. A royal source told People magazine of Charles and Camilla. Both of them remained in good spirits. There is a sense of keeping calm and carrying on. The Duchess is concerned for him, but she is aware of his own good spirits and therefore is keeping a close eye on him and mindful of her own situation. She is upbeat. Mail Online has also plotted the Prince movement over the past 16 days, and he attended at least 6 public engagements meeting hundreds of people. This included a string of Britain's biggest stars at his annual Prince Charles Awards at the Royal Albert Hall 2 weeks ago. The start of the coronavirus 14-day incubation period. The Prince of Wales was last at Buckingham Palace on March 12 to carry out investiture on behalf of the Queen, who has also briefly met. His coronavirus diagnosis will raise fears for the health for elderly royals, including his mother and Prince Philip, 98, who are together at Windsor Castle, especially because of the high death rate among the elderly. Charles is understood not to have seen his father for many weeks, possibly during the Max's crisis talks at Sandringham, where his 98-year-old father was based until he flew by helicopter to Windsor last Thursday. William and Kate are at Amer Hall in Norfolk, while Harry and Meghan are back in Canada. After both couples saw Charles at the Commonwealth Service at Westminster Abbey on March 9. At the service, no members of the royal family shook hands, with the prince greeting people with Natasha and the Duke of Sussex's elbow bumping Greg Davy. 2 days later, on March 11, he also met with a string of celebrities at the Prince Charles Award 2020 in London, attended by Ant and Dec, Philip Schofield, Fiona Cotton, Pierre Brosnan, Rachel E. Green, Rolling Stone stars Ronnie Wood, X Factor star Flynn East, Dina Asher Smith, and Craig Davey. Arriving at the Prince Charles Awards a fortnight ago, Charles twice attended his hands to greet people before withdrawing it at the last minute in mock honor, and greeting them with a bow and Hindi, greeting Namaste. Turning to Dame Martina Bilber, the trust shaft is casted. The prince said, "It's just so hard to remember not to." Ahmed Scarbine, a royal contributor on ABC, admitted he was confused by the sudden change to a written statement, having expressed a televised address. However, royal commentator Victoria Arbiter explained that there were two reasons behind the decision not to go ahead with it. Speaking on the airport, she said, "There is a real sense that they need to keep the focus and keep the airwaves clear for the experts, for the doctors, for the Prime Minister." She added that the statement was a way to get the message out there as it could be printed on newspapers, posted on social media, and read out on broadcast. It could reach a huge number of people without taking away airtime, she continued.